Hello my friends, Ahsoka the Geek here, and for this review, we are going to take a look at the McFarlane Toys DC Multiverse Azrael as Batman from the Batman Knightfall storylines. First of all, huge thanks to Rob D. Toys for snagging me this guy from Walmart. This is a gold label Walmart exclusive, so, you know, good luck with all that. He has been showing up at Walmart. A lot of people have been finding him, so hopefully he won't be too challenging to find. I have not seen him in my area at all yet, though, so hopefully he will be plentiful. But yeah, super excited for this figure. As I mentioned before in my previous reviews, I am a huge 90s fan. That's my era of comics, the 90s. So this hits all the marks for me. I love Knightfall, love Azrael, love Azbats. So yeah, this is very exciting for me. So here he is in the packaging. And yeah, I have a lot of thoughts on this figure. I have a lot of thoughts on this figure. So without further ado, very mumbly today, let's take him outside of the packaging and take a look. Alright my friends, so here is Azbats outside of the packaging. Doesn't come with anything other than the standard trading card, which I really like because this is very traditional. This is actually a comic book cover from the back of the day, so I love the comic book art it comes with. Very nice. And then it comes with the base. Anyways, let's get right to it. What do I think about this figure? So, when it comes to the sculpt, I love it. The sculpt is perfect. This is Azrael. This is Azbats. They didn't give it a McFarlane twist. This is pretty much what I've come to expect, or what I imagine an Azbats figure looking like. I do have one from DC Direct, which I'll show you guys. I'm going to use this to cover up that dent in the foreground there in a few minutes. But yeah, this is like a perfect 90s recreation, sculpt-wise, of, you know, Azbats. So I think they hit it out of the park in that regard. Everything from the cape, the way it drapes, to, you know, this armor thing, to the mask. It looks great. I mean, even the gloves, the gauntlets are perfect. Again, sculpt-wise. We'll talk about the paint in a minute. But they nailed it. I even love the texture. The texture wasn't even... I mean, in the original comic book, I don't think the suit had any texture like you see here. So I actually really love that they added that for this figure. It just really adds to it. Now, where this figure has some failings is in the paint choices. So, just the overall look of this, I wish they had gone with a darker blue and a darker gray, honestly. This isn't really how I remember him from the comic book as far as the colors go. I just remember him looking darker. This might be accurate, but when it came to the comic books, it seemed darker as far as the blue and the gray goes, and I would have just preferred it to be darker. This kind of reminds me of a birthday cake blue for some reason. It's just a little too blue. And again, I'm sorry I had to make that criticism, but yeah, I do wish the blue was darker. I think the gray is fine actually now that I look at it more. Would have loved some shading in there a little bit more than just it being this, you know, I think this is what that's the term I'm looking for, is it's basically cast in this gray. It's not painted, right? So I think that's why there's no real variation in the color schemes there, which I get. It makes sense, probably more cost effective. But would have liked to see at least a darker gray and a darker blue. That's my major criticism with this figure. The other criticisms, I think a lot of other reviewers have pointed out, you know, the glove, or the gauntlets, the claws or the fingers should be silver or gray. I think really they should be silver. So that's kind of like a very noticeable, you know, drawback here. And even the neck I think should be silver, to be honest with you. Again, I'm going off memory here, but I believe the neck should have been silver as well. You know, I hate to get this nitpicky with things, but it's just like you can kind of tell this whole thing is just cast in that blue. So, you know, I would have liked to have seen it be silver. But man, other than that, this is just a phenomenal figure. I love the head sculpt. Love the eyes. Love everything about this figure. I love, well, I guess I can't say everything, so I just give it some criticisms. But man, this is just a perfect Knightfall accurate figure. And look how it, you know, with articulation, the way, the poses you can make with it, how cool that looks. Oh, it looks great. As far as articulation goes, typical McFarlane articulation. I know you guys love it when I use that term. You can get some really good range of motion here with the shoulders. A little bit limited with this chest piece there, which is fine. But other than that, you can make some really cool poses. And I do love the range of motion you get with the neck. So other than the paint issues I mentioned, or the choices I should say, I really love this figure. This is an awesome McFarlane version of Knightfall Batman. I'm now less tempted to get the Mafex Knightfall Batman just because I have this now, and with the DC Direct one, which is still, I think, honestly a better figure in my opinion in some ways. This is really fantastic. And yeah, the more I play around with it, the more I like this. It's a really beautiful figure, so well done there. So let's take a look and compare him to another Knightfall figure, though. Alright, folks, so on the left, we have the original DC Direct Knightfall Batman, and on the right, we have the new McFarlane version. So you can really see the differences of these two figures. And man, they are striking. I think the basic suit is the same, but man, even now that I look at it, the DC Direct one, I really got to go look back at the source material. I should have done that before I started recording this. That would have been smarter. But yeah, even the DC Direct one, he's got like completely black pants, and you know, the blue is a really dark blue, almost purple on the cape, versus what you see in the McFarlane one. Now, sculpt-wise, actually, I do prefer the McFarlane one more. I think the overall sculpt is better than the DC Direct one, especially now with the more modern articulation. I mean, you know, you just make so many more fun poses with the McFarlane version. The DC Direct one, man, very limited articulation. This is actually my second version of this figure. The first one, the gauntlets completely fell off because the hinge on the elbow there was just broke apart. These are older figures, so that does tend to happen. But yeah, you know, I think I like the paint deco more on the DC Direct one, though. Definitely love the darker colors and the more metallic look to the paint. So I do give it to DC Direct on the paint. Although I do prefer the gold look on the McFarlane one. So there you go. I guess I'm conflicted a little bit on which one I prefer more. But actually, I got lucky here, and I actually see there's Knightfall Batman. Let me just open him up to an actual page in the comic book. Let's see, there he is. Oh, so there he is. There's Knightfall Batman from the comic book, so we can actually see what he looks like. So yeah, I guess the DC Direct one is more accurate to this art, this specific art I'm looking at here. The DC Direct one does look, you know, way more accurate. Let me do this properly. Let's move this guy over here a little bit, and we'll compare this first. There we go. That's better. So yeah, you can see that, man, yeah, the DC Direct one is pretty much torn from the comic book. Like, the colors, everything is really dead on. The gauntlets, though, are different in the comic book. The gauntlets, you can see the tips are silver versus the whole thing being silver. Let me find another shot of him to see how he looks. Sorry for the dead air time. Oh, here's another shot of him, an action shot. So there he is in his action shot there. So yeah, the DC Direct one definitely is more accurate to this specific comic book's version of Azbats. Obviously, he's gone through a lot of different artists, so, you know, sorry, trying to get this guy to stand up there. There you go. So, you know, take that into consideration. But I guess the DC Direct one is definitely more accurate when it comes to the depiction of Azrael. So that's fine. I just wish the new McFarlane one, again, the paint was just a little darker on the blue and on the grays. I think that would have made it a complete home run for me. Again, I still prefer the sculpt of the new McFarlane one more, just because of the things I mentioned before, but there it is. Alright, let's go ahead and put him now next to a Batman figure, just to give you a little bit more of a comparison on his size there. So this is the Three Jokers Batman from McFarlane. As you can see, scales really well with him. Looks nice. He's going to fit in really well with your Batman family. Alright, so that's about it, guys. So, final thoughts. I love the figure. Just wish that it was a little bit darker with the paint. That's really what it comes down to. But I'm still really happy to have this. The other little thing I'm noticing is his little white piece here is kind of popping out a little bit. Not bothering me too much, but I would have liked to have that been more flush to the belt and not sort of have that like kind of weird cutout piece sticking out like that. So, another nitpick. This is my most negative review I think I've ever done. See, guys, I can be critical. Alright, guys, that's about it for me. Thanks again for watching. Really appreciate it. Look for a lot more content from me on Instagram, plug, where I'll do some more comparisons, some more videos, and things like that. But until then, thank you so much for watching. Appreciate your support, and have a great day.